so we'll jump right in it. Good morning, everybody. We're into a good Tuesday, Halloween week. Excited about some trick-or-treating this week, and we're excited about being back at home. And you know, we've got 3 more opportunities to play here at Clemson. And, you know, this is something we look forward to all year. These 7 opportunities. So hopefully we'll have another great crowd this week. And I know we got fall break next week. And, hopefully our students will hang around and maybe cut out after the game on Saturday, because this is always a special time. Like I said, you got an unbelievable group of seniors that cherish every single moment that they get to play here at home. So they're excited about another opportunity, and you know, looking forward to a great day in the Valley. Louisville is, I guess, 2-6, but they're the best 2-6 team I've seen. I don't know how else to say it. Their record is not indicative of the players that they have. I mean, you know, sometimes you turn on the tape and you look at a team and you go, oh, it doesn't take long. But these guys right here, man, they got some. I mean, they're physical. This is as well a coordinated offensive scheme as we've gone against. I mean, they do a great job schematically, and big, huge offensive line, probably the biggest offensive line we played, massive up front, and as good a group of receivers as we played. Same thing I'd say about the receivers. Big, huge, 6'4". One of them I think is 6'6". I mean, these are big guys. Got a very effective tight end in Crum. Got 2 good running backs. The little freshman, 19, is impressive on tape. He's kind of come on as of late. He's a really fast, explosive kid. The biggest thing is they're 127th in the country in turnover margin. I mean, that's, you know, if you want to say, well, you know, what's happened. Well, there's 130 teams and they're 127th in turnover margin. So they've had some really tough breaks, and you know, I'm sure that their coaches are frustrated with a lot of missed opportunity, because they're very capable of playing with anybody. I mean, this is from a physicality standpoint, a schematic standpoint, and a skill standpoint. They have those things on this team, and but you know, when you turn the ball over at the rate they've turned it over, you're going to end up coming up on the short end of the deal a lot, and that's what's happened for them. They had a 24-20 game into the 4th quarter with BC. They got really truly should have won the Florida State game. You know, I've seen that one a few times over the last couple weeks, and just missed some opportunities against those guys. So, you know, they've had some tough breaks, but again, this offensive line, the quarterback is a young guy. That's the other thing. He's a young guy that they're kind of, you know, committed to and bringing him along. He runs very well. He's big. He's not been as consistent as they probably want him to be. But then you put a little cut up together and you go, dang, there's 8 big plays against Alabama. I mean, he's a very streaky, capable guy. So, you know, we expect a challenge and a big-time battle from a physical standpoint. We're going to have to really play well defensively and have the right mindset to take on the type of scheme that they present. You know, all the boots and crossers and the down and arounds and G schemes. I mean, they come right at you, and it's well coordinated. All the stuff that comes off of it. A bunch of shots down the field. We got to win matchups because those big receivers, they're going to put up the ball one-on-ones to them. And then on the flip side of it, same thing. You look at their defensive line. I mean, they got some guys. They got a bunch of guys. They're same thing. Got a good scheme on that side of the ball. They're aggressive, and you know, they've had some short fields that they've had to deal with along the way. But you know, this is not a 2-6 football team. You know, that's what their record is, but that's not indicative of the type of talent they have on this team. And so for us, it's about being locked in. They're one of the better punt returners again. It's just being locked in, continuing to build momentum and confidence in what we're trying to do, trying to play our best game each and every week, kind of competing against ourselves to see if we can, be consistent and put, our best 4 quarters. Like last week was great, but can we be consistent? Can we clean up some of the mistakes from last week? Can we continue to win the turnover margin? Can we continue to make a difference in special teams? Can we finish the big plays when they present themselves? Can we cut out? We had a couple busts last week. So there's just so many things that we have to focus on, and we're excited to have opportunity to play. So looking forward to practice today and getting back out there. A good tough Tuesday practice. Today will be a tough practice because again, the way their style of play, you better have your mind right, because if not, they can embarrass you, pretty quick with their style. But as far as our team goes, I like where we are. I think that we've got a healthy team. We've got a confident team. We've got a team that's got good momentum right now. But more importantly, we've got great leadership, and we've got a team that is very, very focused. And I think that serves us well as we enter into what we call our championship phase of our journey for this year. We work all year. We started last January, and now here we are, and we're rolling into November, and we're right where we want to be. We've got a lot of opportunity. We really have only achieved one goal. We won the opener, and this phase of our season presents a lot of opportunity for us. But you gotta put your best foot forward every single week, every single play. High sense of urgency, attention to details. Continue to prepare with purpose every day, and I've seen that in our guys. So excited about getting back to work today, and looking forward to a great day in the Valley Saturday.
Coach, the Tigers will run down the hill for the 400th time on Saturday. How special is that to be a part of for these players?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I saw that last night, radio show. They had that notes there, but that's pretty amazing. It really is. You sit down and you think about that tradition and all the players who've come through here that have they tell their kids and their grandkids about that opportunity, and to know that we get a chance to be a part of that 400th one. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
What are the status of the red shirts, guys that you're trying to hold out for next year? Are there anything you want to pull them, or are you able to hold them all?
Say that one more time.
What's the status on all the red shirts?
Oh, the status. I thought you said the stats. Okay, the status.
No.
The only one right now is KJ that I think we've used all 4 games with. I think he's the only one that we know we're trying to hold, and it's really what he wants to do, and we're in a position to be able to do that right now, unless something changes. So we get down the road, have a change or two, then we might have to revisit that. But right now, he's the only one that we've burned all 4 games. Everybody else is still in a good spot, and I think we've gotten most all of them in at least one game. I think y'all may know better than me. I think we played everybody. I think Maskell got in.
Darnell got in?
Who's that?
Darnell?
I thought Darnell got in that last game. Maybe he did, but I thought he did. I know Maskell got in there, and Jake and Mike. Of course, KJ's gotten in there. Skowski's played. McFadden's played. Who else might have in there? But most of those guys have gotten in a little bit. But we'll see how it goes down the stretch and if we have more opportunity. But I think postseason is where because you can have injuries and all those type of things. But where we are right now, we've got 4 games left. So I think we're in a good place with all those guys.
Dabo, it's been said over the years that kind of guys sometimes have built up to kind of a breakout performance. Is that kind of the case with Amari this week? I know he's been consistent in the punt game, but just the big numbers he put up in the past game.
Yeah, and he's been consistent really all around, offensively, really all year. and but he just hadn't had that big explosive play. He had, Texas A&M had a big touchdown on hitch and go, but that was a huge game for him. Just the yards after the catch. He led our team in that. Two great plays. But definitely one of those games that can kind of give you a big boost, as you're going into game 9 here. So I was really happy for him, and had a great all-purpose day. So he's a good football player, man. He's a very well-rounded player. Can do a lot of things for us.
He was saying that he's been meditating at night with an app that Milt introduced to the team.
Oh, yeah.
Headspace. You know how that works?
Do I know how it works? Yeah, we do it every Thursday. We sit in here and go, Yeah, Milt gets in here, and I swear it's the funniest thing. This is when I knew we were going to smash NC State. We came in here, and Milt's doing Headspace on Team Thursday, moment with Milt, and I give him like 5 or 7 minutes every Thursday. And so Milt gets in here, and he introduces his Headspace thing. It's on the app. You're just basically chilling for 3 minutes, and but there's just some guy, and he's got that weird voice, and he's talking to you, and everybody in the room, we're supposed to have our eyes closed and our hands on our and you feel your feet into the floor and your body, your weight into the seat, and you just drift away, and your mind. Just let your mind wander. It goes through all this stuff, and so it's like 3 minutes, and then you come back and you go. Of course, Darnell's asleep in the back, and you just kind of come up and you go, man, I feel kind of good, it's kind of nice, and so it's so funny. So I waited till Sunday, but our Sunday staff meeting, because Woody had taken a picture. It's classic because he showed it to me at a meeting. We just laughed. And I said, "Oh, I'm saving that for Sunday. This game will go the way we need it to go." And so the whole room, Woody's got a picture of the whole room. Everybody's doing all this stuff. And then there's Venables. He's just still drawing plays. He's in the back of the room. He ain't paying attention. He's just sitting there. He's still drawing stuff. And I'm like, I was like, this is when I knew. This was the moment I knew right here. Brent ain't got no time for Headspace. He's got no space left in there. Yeah, it's one of those things the whole team's been doing, and us coaches too. I participate every Thursday, so I have no idea. It'll be interesting. We have another session this week, so I don't know. It's some kind of app, but basically you're just basically chilling out, and it's teaching you how to relax a little bit. I don't even remember who you were telling me was doing that. Amari, yeah, there you go.
He said he does it before bed every day.
There you go. That's good. That's good. Oh, the world we live in.
Dabo, y'all are really good at avoiding tackles for loss. What are the factors that go into that beyond the obvious, like blocking and?
Well, communication. I mean, I think we had 6 yards, negative yards. I mean, that's a real prideful area for us. And I challenge them on that. I mean, I cannot stand negative plays. And you're gonna have some zeros every now and then. I mean, you have ones, and I mean, it's not always gonna be perfect, but I can't stand negative plays. And more importantly, when we don't give ourselves a chance to be successful. And we had 6 yards. We had the screen, and they had the right call. It was well played. We had a negative play there, and then DK on his first snap just kind of ran in quicksand there. But trying to kind of get him a little game reps on the package that we've been working. But other than that, we did a really good job against a good front. But the biggest thing is communication and targeting. I mean, everybody's got to be on the same page. And so, if we're all wrong, we're all right. But it's not good when you're not on the same page. And so and then the quarterback being really schooled up on where the unblocked guy is, and avoiding those type of things, and knowing where to go with the ball. So it's just preparation. I mean, it goes to your preparation and again your communication and IDing things properly and making sure everybody understands that, and then recognition, which comes from film study, and knowing, you know, what the play is and what our objective is and what's the things that really create problems. You know, the recognition of the stunts and twists and the pressures, coverage, alignments, all these tips and things that you get through film study and through prep each week. You know, that's how you avoid tackles for loss. And then you gotta have good players. You gotta have pride in getting your job done. So, you know, it's really nothing more than that. And if you're not on the same page, then you're gonna have a bunch of tackles for loss.
Dabo, over the last 3 games as Trevor starts, what areas have you seen him improve in the most and it stands out most to you?
Just him, the recognition, first of all, in running the football, you know, appropriately, decision making, and we've challenged him in that. You know, as I told y'all earlier, back in the spring, that was the one thing I went, whoa, this guy can run. But it was a little more him fighting for his life. And so, you know, because he wasn't as in command of everything. And so, you know, and then here comes Cleveland, and, you know, next thing, and he's like, okay, I better go. And then he's running away from him. So I was pretty impressed with that part of his game this spring. And now he's very confident. He's very much in command of what's going on. And early on, he's staying in the pocket too long. You know, they're playing coverage, they're dropping 8, they're playing 2-man, and I mean, he's got run lanes, but he's so confident in his arm and his guys, and he's sitting there, you know, waiting to make the perfect throw on tight coverage and a lot of coverage, as opposed to it's 2nd and 7, and let's go make it 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1. And so just being a little more opportunistic in when he needs to run the ball, not on called runs, but when he needs to run the ball in the passing game. And so he's really come a long way from there. But just his total command of our protections and his recognition. I mean, this kid has seen a lot, man. I mean, just to survive on our practice field is a challenge. All right, that's a real challenge because our offense gets. I mean, they face. You name it, we see it. Every front that you can think of, every coverage that you can think of, we see it on our practice field. And then the fact that he's played 8 games, you know, he's just in a different place mentally. You know, he's very comfortable with the recognition part, and that's, you know, he's been changing protections and resetting things, and then just the game within the game, manipulating the snap count, creating movement in the defense, you know, so we can get some tips and he can process things a little quicker. He's done great. I mean, this kid's a freshman, and he's playing, you know, like a veteran player out there. And he is a veteran now. He's not a freshman anymore. He's played 8 games. So just his confidence, his demeanor, I think his leadership, you know, with, hey, he's the guy, and he's asserted himself that way. So it's been good. He's grown in a lot of ways.
Coach, you've had 3 straight blowouts. How difficult is it managing the risk versus reward, knowing when Trevor's played enough and when it's time to get Chase in there?
You know, I just kind of a gut feeling game by game, but you know, you can't play scared. I mean, listen, I quit worrying about that a long time ago. I mean, I'm not going. I mean, I just kind of know when I need to get a guy out. How much time have we played? He didn't play much in the second half. I think maybe that second touchdown to Amari, and that was it. And then I got to get Chase plenty of time. I got to get him, and he's played. How about Chase? I mean, this kid has. Every time he goes in there, we just go right down the field, and he's the same way. He processes it. He sees it. He knows where to go with the ball. And he's had another. You know, he's a redshirt freshman. He's had a little more time, but he's just got to get a little more confident running the ball. It's like he's because he can run, but he should have scored on the option the other day. But he just same thing. It kind of looked like that first play of the Syracuse game. Then when he stumbled and bumbled out there, but he's done awesome. So you know, just trying to get him plenty of opportunities so we can be prepared. You know, to get him in there to play. But I think the biggest thing is there's things we need to work on. I mean, we've got certain objectives. And, you know, you get in a situation like last week, probably not going to run him very much. So, you know, we'll protect him from that standpoint, but we still need him to have to make decisions and kind of operate and just kind of be in the flow of the game a little bit more. But, you know, it's been good. He's in a good place.
Yeah, but you guys are tied for number one in scoring defense. Just what is it about every year? It seems like Brent puts together defense that is right there near the top.
Well, we got great coaches and great players that are committed, and that's really the bottom line. It's a good combination. When you have great coaches, and Brent is awesome. I mean, he just does such a wonderful job. And then, you know, you throw in Todd and Ski and Mickey and Mike and all of our support guys that support them. I mean, we've got a great staff that do a good job of giving our guys a chance to be successful. But the rest of it's all about the players. I mean, we got good players that believe in what we do and are super committed and prepare the right way. And that's why we've been so consistent.
You've been in coaching a long time. Has there been a shift in, like, when you put backups in? Like, it seems like 20 years ago you put the backups in and you just handed it off and milking the clock and all that. Going from that thought process, maybe in your mind, to we put the backups in, we need to be able to run everything and it makes us better.
Yeah, I think so. You know, it was just the game was so different back then. I mean, we were kind of in a milk the clock mode the whole game. You know, you just didn't. And then, but as the game changed, you know, you are who you are. So when you put the backups in, you can't all of a sudden be something that you're not. You know, that's not what they practice. So I think that's the biggest difference. Back when I played, and the game was over, so to speak, you put the backups in. We'll just ran the eye and ran the toss and ran the clock. And, you know, maybe you didn't call that one play action. You just ran it one more time and punted. You know, so nowadays that's I mean, you have to run your offense. Then you can hand it off. I mean, that's what we did up at Wake. I mean, we just handed it off. But guys are still wanting to go play. They're excited to play. And then from our standpoint, like with Chase, we need him to have to. I mean, like that third down throw he made to DK on the outcut, opposite hash, the far hash. Man, what a play! And that was a play designed to go into the boundary, and just his recognition. He found a soft corner and confidence to pull the trigger and rip it out there on time. You know, that's just what we do, and he needs that. He needs to be able to play. So, you know, we try to just run our offense. I mean, you know, we're not going to run a double pass or anything like that, but we, you know, I think coaches understand when you're playing within your scheme and when you're trying to embarrass somebody. I think there's a difference there.
Dabo, what a season you've got. 8 games of film on your opponents. They've got 8 games of film on you. So, especially from an offensive standpoint, you have to kind of take into account, especially now that they've seen this group together, you know, maybe anticipate we've got to give a different look here than we would have to run a certain play. I mean, get that intricate in terms of the thought process.
Oh yeah. I mean, every week you're going to have game plan tweaks. You're always studying your tendencies, and then you try to use those tendencies to your advantage. And that's what you know good coaches and good teams do. But at the end of the day, you are who you are. After 8 games, you know you're not going to come in and all of a sudden be something that you're not. And at this stage of football in the season, you're either good enough to do what you do or you're not. And the teams that can impose their will upon the opponent are the ones who win. You know, and the teams that can play with discipline and you know take care of the ball and not have stupid penalties and be relentless in special teams. You know, that's the teams that win. I mean, we're not going to line up and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to just trick everybody and run the triple option game 9. I mean, we are who we are. We're going to run the zone. We're going to run the power. We're going to run the counter. We're going to get on the edge a little bit. We're going to play action you. That's what we do. And, you know, you've got to be good enough to stop it. And we have to be good enough to execute versus whatever we see. It's the same thing as far as who we are defensively. You You know, we're gonna create a new line of scrimmage. We're gonna attack. We're gonna be in and out of multiple fronts. We're gonna pressure. We're gonna play some zone coverage. We're gonna play a lot of man coverage. We're gonna give you multiple looks on the back end. You know, we move our front. That's who we are. So we're either good enough to do what we do better than what you do, or we're not. And that's really what it comes down to at this time of year. You know, you go all the way back to the first game or the second game. Might as well have been the first game at Texas A&M. We didn't know who they were, and we weren't really sure who we were. You know, it's a little different deal because you just don't have any tape. I mean, there's lots of unknown. To me, openers are always the hardest games to prepare for. You know, there's new people, new coaches. I mean, it's a lot of times you spent your whole preparation studying other teams, and you know, at this time of year, it's great to be able to sit down and watch the people that you're going to play, and you get a feel. It doesn't. And it's a lot of good stuff, man. And it's at the end of the day, you have to be better at what you do than they are at what they do at this point in time. And that's what it comes down to. And if you've got two teams that are pretty evenly matched, and there's going to be some wins and losses on both sides. There's going to be some good plays and bad plays on both sides. So then it's going to come down to a few plays. This time of year, the margin for error gets really smaller. And it usually in championship football, it's 3 or 4 plays.
You can, I'm sure, turned on any 5 minutes of film and see the arm talent with Trevor. Do you remember the first time you sat down with him and like talked ball with him and kind of got the mental side back from him and what your impressions were of that?
Yeah, it wasn't until he got here in January for me, as far as sitting down and just talking ball with him. You know, than just general conversation. I mean, you could tell he was a really sharp kid, but until you get into the intricacies of a meeting and installation and all the stuff that you're trying to do within your system, that's a whole nother deal. But the first time I saw him throw live was he came to camp. I guess his going in his junior year. Wow. I was trying to rearrange the line. No. You the receivers. I know you go with this guy. You know, I was afraid somebody's going to get. We don't wear helmets. Somebody's going to get hurt. Some of those kids jumping up there to catch from Trevor. No. Let's change. You go here. But you know, it was pretty quick early when he got here. First of all, how prepared he was. You know, because he had been studying and had been really. You know, the whole January we're on the road recruiting and doing all this, and all of a sudden you get into your season study and going through stuff, and man, he's sharp. And then last spring, when just right out of the gate, I could just tell that he was processing. You know, and that's the way Deshaun was. Very similar. You know, just mentally way ahead of a typical freshman.
Dabo, a lot of coaches run their programs in a stern way. You always seem to want to incorporate a lot of fun and joy into the grind, and even small things like getting Garrett Williams a touchdown at FSU or putting Christian in there. What is kind of your basic philosophy and approach as far as having a lot of fun while still obviously getting business done?
Well, my guys will be quick to tell you that I'm not so much fun all the time. I promise you, there's another side to Coach Swinney that y'all don't always see. Tim's smiling back there. I'm ultra competitive, and I do like to have a lot of fun, but I do not like nonchalantness and lackadaisicalness, if that's a word. I don't like that. I like focus and intensity and locked inness on what we're doing. That's what I like. And when I don't get that, then we can have some issues. But when we're you know, we find ways to have some fun within that. But this is a game of intensity. But from a just holistic standpoint, I mean, that just goes back to our philosophy of our program. I mean, we want to graduate our players, number one. That's what we want to do. And we've done that at an incredible rate. And the second thing that I challenged our staff with when I got this job was, I want to make sure that we have a program that's equipping them with the tools they need to go and dominate in life and win outside the lines, that they're ready for what comes after football. And that's what we've done through career opportunities, social development, all the networking and micro internships and mission trips and you name it. That's all happens through our Paul journey. And then the third thing for me has always been I want our guys to have a great college experience. You know, this is college, and I want them to have some fun along the way. There's nothing wrong with having some fun and enjoying your experience, and not having a place where people are miserable when they show up. You know, when I walk in the room every day for my team meeting, I don't want guys miserable to be here. You know, I want them to know that, hey, we got a lot of work to do, but you know, I want to enjoy each other, and I want them to really enjoy their experience to the fact that, hey, they want to come back to college, and then when they can't wait to come back and visit, they want to stay in touch. That's one of the greatest joys of my job is, you know, just all the sons that I feel like I have out there, all the relationships, all I mean, it's every week I'm hearing from former players from years ago, guys that I coached at Alabama. And I just think that's the best part of it. But that goes back to, again, trying to make sure that your guys have a good experience. And for the most part, we've been able to do that. And then it's to win a championship. You know, that's just the foundation of our program. And you know, I think we've done a pretty good job of that.
Dabo, what does it say about Christian that I know he kind of has some fun with playing quarterback and that kind of stuff, but is it selflessness to go out and play all these special teams and stuff as a senior and one of the top prospects in the draft?
And he's always done that since he got here. He's been on punt team. He's been starting on punt team since he was a freshman. He's played field goal block. He loves it. I mean, he's just a guy that truly enjoys every day. He likes practice. He likes meetings. He likes the training in the summer. He just has that mindset that it takes to be great, and he's rubbed off on so many people over his time here. But he loves it. He'll do anything you ask him to do, and he believes he can do anything. He really thinks that way. So pretty cool to see him last week be able to get that touchdown and just, you know, have so much fun doing it. It was awesome.
Coach, what are the odds you let him go past?
We played the yesterday. We do a video every Monday, and we played the what's the Titanic song? It's like a
Swing Beyond.
Yeah, yes, that song. Y'all know that song? And we played that song, and you know, he's back there, tailback, and you know, it was just like going in. And he dives into the end zone, and you know, it's slow motion, and then he's celebrating with like every player on the team all down the sideline. It was pretty cool to enjoy that moment with him.
What are the odds you let him go past at some point before the
Hey
season?
man, you never know. You never know. Never know.
How about Justin Ross? Did he tweak his hamstring during the game?
Practice. Yeah. He was kind of gimpy all week, and but he was able to go, and but he looked a lot. He looked good last night. He really got off to a good start last night. So hopefully he's kind of working his way. I mean, it wasn't so bad that he couldn't play, but it was a problem for him, and he'd been kind of battling it all week. But he continues to make big plays.
Austin Elliott fully clear?
Yeah, he's back.
Coach,
He'll be in green today, but he's back in the practice.
Your decision to move Cervenka over to the offensive side of the ball really paid off on Saturday. You pointed out to us yesterday that you scored the same number of points, matches jersey number. You know, ordinarily losing your starting center going in a place like Doak Campbell against that defense would be a concern. But you know, for him to be co-offensive player of the game along with Amari, when you can point to examples like that and Chase Bryce stepping up when a guy gets injured, how much does that help keep all your backups fully engaged?
Yeah, this sets a great example, and you know, and it just kind of further emphasizes why we're committed to playing guys that deserve to play. You know, even if it's 15% of the time. You know, I mean, it's just critical because you never know, and I think that's something that if you commit to that early in the season, you know, you get to game 8, game 9, even if a guy's only played 10% of the snaps, he's in a different place than he is if he's just stood over there all season, and now he's got to go out there and play, and all he's done is practice. So, you know, we trust our guys, and Gage is one of those guys. He's a 4th-year junior, and took him a little while to kind of make that transition. But he has done great. I mean, he was a wrestler. He's a great leverage guy. He can get his body in some funky positions and still move people. And he's so strong. I mean, he's the strongest guy on our team. Unbelievable how strong this kid is. I mean, he's a 225. He's a 40-something rep guy on 225. I mean, he's a 700, 600, 700 pound squatter. I mean, he is unbelievably powerful. But now he's confident. You know, he's confident with his snaps. He really understands the game. But it was a big deal. Even though he played a lot, to have to run out there first and to know that, hey, you know, you don't have Fauci there. Like, you got to be the guy. I thought he did great. I mean, it was so much fun. And again, sends a great message to all his teammates and all the guys sitting in this room. You know, you never know when you're going to have to go be the guy and play 60 snaps. You know, maybe you've been playing 15 or 20. We need you to play 60. So make sure you're ready. And that was something we were able to challenge our defense with this week. We gave up 10 points, you know, with our backups, and they didn't take the first team out. That's not how it works. Oh, you know, there's nobody waves a flag. You know, or putting the twos in. Okay, y'all put the twos in. It doesn't work that way. You got to go in. You're in the same meetings. You're in the same practice field. You have the same expectations. So there's still a lot of room for improvement for us. Yeah, don't take the cheese. That's something that you know, I've always said around here. Just, you know, don't take the cheese. You know, Marion Hobby, he used to get mad. I mean, Marion was. Those of you dealt with Marion, y'all know he was a no nonsense guy and a great football coach. But man, he tried to talk to one of his players during practice. I mean, he just look at you. You know, you come over and you say, "Hey, good job," you know. And he'd just look at you and say, "Don't pet the animals." You know, he just don't feed the animals. Don't take the, you know, and then he'd look at his players and say, "Don't you take the children." You know, I think that's a mindset that Marion, I think, started creating in those guys, Cleveland and them. And so he always did such a good job of kind of creating that edge in them, you know, to not listen to anything, nothing, just, you know, go prove it. Go play well, better be prepared, and I think that's carried over, and it's just kind of filtered down into our team. But we say that all the time, man. Don't take the cheese, because exactly, you know. And listen, you know, the people that are talking about how great you are, and oh, you know, I mean, you're the only team that could do this or do that or whatever, and then you go lay an egg. Well, then the next week they're going to be talking about everything that's wrong with your program and blah, 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 blah. So those same people that were just last week talking about and explaining why you're so great, the very next week they're talking about what's wrong with your program. And so you just, in this role, you have to, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what people do, you know. I mean, that's what makes it so much fun. People want to explain stuff and they have opinions and all that, but on this side of it, you can't get caught up in that. I mean, you just can't take any of that stuff. You just got to just stay locked in to your preparation. You know, the one thing, all these guys in this room, they know reality. They know reality, and they know what's not reality. So just stay focused on what we control, what matters, and the rest take care of itself.
Do you have any interest in?
Last one in the back.
So, Coach, do you have any interest in the playoff rankings coming out tonight, knowing that the team has been slated number 3 and every initial poll has failed to make the playoffs?
I didn't know that. But no, I don't really have. I mean, we're going to be in it. I mean, I know that. I don't need to see a show tonight to know that we're one of the teams that has a real shot. We've earned that. I mean, I think that's good. It's good that didn't they used to do it a lot earlier? That is such a waste of time. Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's better that they wait now until I guess basically November before they start doing all that stuff. So so you got a little bit, I mean, so, you know, I know I said before the year, I think we're one of the 12 or 15 teams that maybe have a shot. And that's where we want to be every year. We just want to be a team that has a chance. And some years you're going to have things go your way, and some years you're not. And you try to be the best version of that team each year. But we're in a position, and I'm sure we'll be in there somewhere. I can't imagine that we won't, but it really doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, that's great, but it just doesn't matter. I mean, we got to beat Louisville. That's it. So that's the only thing that we're locked in on.
All right, thanks everybody.